We are gonna get shit on so bad for this,
yeah,
dude.
we're gonna. I
I'm
know.
just like, I don't even want to check the comments on
I
this
don't
one.
either. I don't either. It'll be great.
If you're watching this right now and you haven't hit the like button, Billy, get on it. Bug your brother. Tell him to do the same.
Manoah extension talk.
Mm.
We brought this up on the MLB Mondays, the Patreon
Mhm.
exclusive yesterday, but we threw it out as a little teaser clip on the old YouTube here. Look, it's a simple question. Is now the time to extend Alek Manoah? People could not be further divided on this. We got several comments that basically all fall in line with these two opinions here. So the first one,
Yes.
Aaron Ginsberg says, no, the time to offer Manoah an extension was the 2021 off season. You don't get great deals on long-term contracts without taking on risk. And then Brad Hood says, way too soon to offer Manoah an extension. He's still basically a rookie pitcher with only one full season under his belt and very short minor league experience. Hold tight on this thought. So what is it, Scott? Is it we missed the boat already, or we're way ahead of?
I don't think there's one way to skin a cat. There's no rules as to when a contract can be signed or an extension can be agreed upon. If you're going throughout the track record of contract extensions, yes, I think that it is possible that it has gone a little long to try and negotiate with Alek Manoah. Now, perhaps if you offer him a very similar deal to the Spencer Strider deal, now that he's struggling, maybe that's a possibility. There's validity in both of those comments. There really is. Okay. You have to, as an organization, take a risk if you expect to get a deal. Now, we could even argue that this organization took a fairly substantial risk on Kevin Gausman, and it is paying off big time. And it does look like they probably saved themselves somewhere between $3 to $5 million a year by locking him up when they did at the price they did. It goes the other way too, though. Look at Jose Barrios. We have examples of both of these right here on this team. Do you take that risk? Do you wait it out? Look, there's even examples. Look at Frankie Montas, right? This was the guy everyone wanted at the trade deadline. You don't know when injuries are going to come up. Carlos Rodon is a great example with the Yankees as well, right? They put a bunch of money into this guy, and turns out he's out indefinitely. We're not even sure when Rodon is back. I know we mentioned it yesterday that he has a chronic back problem currently, and there's no timeline as to when he returns. Okay, so there's risk in any major contract you're going to sign. The organization is going to weigh these risks and go about it that way. Listen, this Blue Jays front office has done a lot of things to prove they're prepared to spend money. One thing they have never done is they've never given that big major contract, the Wander Franco, the Acuna Jr., the list goes on of locking up their young stars before they're proven. There just isn't an example of it. So if I'm just going to bet on the reality of them offering Manoah a contract, I don't think it's going to happen. So I think that whatever the guy's name was there that was like they missed their boat. He's probably right, but I don't even think he missed the boat as much as they're just not going to do it. They didn't do it.
They never
with
wanted
Bo,
on
they
the
didn't do it
boat.
with Vlad. Yeah, they never wanted on the boat.
They wanted to just wave from the dock as
Yeah.
the boat leaves. Hopefully not. Yeah, no, that's a great point. I mean, I guess we haven't seen them offer any money in house.
No.
Have we? I can't think of a single
Grounds crew, do the research here, but I honestly for this particular regime, there's nothing coming to mind of them locking up an in-house developed player.
Wonder what their track record was in Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't strike me as a team that was signing their guys. Yeah, it'll be interesting, I guess, to see how it plays out. So you're saying don't expect a big contract for Ricky Tiedemann when he makes his ML debut this summer.
Listen, everything is by player to player scenario, and everyone is different, and maybe they value Ricky differently. Who knows? But no, yeah, until they prove they're prepared to do this, like if you just look at the philosophy of the Atlanta Braves front office with Alex Anthopolous at the helm, and the Toronto Blue Jays regime with Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro at the helm, they vary vastly on where they land on this. We've watched the Braves lock up all of their young players. They have picked and chosen their core that they want to build around. We've watched them go out and get Sean Murphy, the catcher they desired, and lock him up long term. They've just locked up Spencer Strider. We already know about Acuna. They went out and made sure that who did they let go to the Cubs there? They made a decision on Dansby Swanson that they weren't going to lock him up. But, like very, very different philosophical. I don't know.
Do you think one is better than the other? I know if we had Joel on, he'd be screaming from high heavens that
honestly,
the Alex Anthopoulos method is better.
I don't know which method is better. I really don't.
I don't think we have a big enough sample size with that Atlanta experiment to see if that's actually the right way to go. It's still very early.
I love the guts, the moxie of doing it, because you're really handcuffing yourself if things don't go well, right? However, things get expensive doing it the Shapiro way, where you're going to constantly bolster your young core with George Springers and Kevin Gausmans. And
my concern with the Atlanta method is that even if again, it's still too early in the experiment to label it a success. Well, no, I guess not. They have won a World Series.
They have a World Series.
It's a success. Yes. End of argument, right?
Yes.
But I think if you said 30 teams are all going to do the Atlanta method, there's still only one team winning the World Series every year. So I don't think we can really say that prove that method works, right? Like there is a little bit of luck involved. A lot of bit of luck. But long term, even if it does work, every contract that you offer, the guy turns into a superstar and you get a screaming deal. That is my definition of did it work, right? You're offering money to people who don't turn into Jose Barrios, right? How well does this Atlanta Braves team do 6 years from now or 5 years from now when they have 7 superstars who all feel like they're being vastly underpaid? Like, is that a fun locker room to be in? Is that I
mean, I don't know. But if they're winning, maybe it is. Maybe they're prepared. Like, this is the thing, dude. It's not like these guys are they're still getting their $160 million or whatever their contracts each wind up being. Like, it is mega money. And if they're winning and the endorsements are coming in and they love each other in that clubhouse, maybe it's great. That said, you do hear rumors of discontent from Ronald Acuna Jr. already. He fired his agent. He's not happy. I don't know how to answer that question, man. And I don't think anyone will really know, except if you're in that clubhouse, right?
One thing I do think, though, for like it is the go all in, gamble on some contracts, like believe in your guys, however you want to call it, or take the wait and see approach that Shapiro and Atkins are doing and bring in big ticket free agents while your young guys are affordable. I think that's just as valid, and I think
Yeah.
as long as you go to either end of the spectrum, you're fine. Like as long as you're not doing it kind of half in the middle. Like I wouldn't
Mhm.
want to see the Blue Jays just offer, I don't know, like they extended Bo for the 3-year deal. If they had just locked him up this year though for 15 years or 10 years or whatever at 300 and whatever million, I don't think I would have liked that. Like, unless they were also doing it with Vlad and also doing it with everybody. Like, either lock up the whole core or
Mhm.
I don't know. It's weird. It's
Would love to hear from the grounds crew. Let us know what you think. Which method do you prefer? Do you like what Atlanta is doing? I think it's great. Do you like what the Jays are doing? I also think it's great. I kind of agree with you, Adam, that it's like pick a lane and go with it. Like you
yeah,
gotta you
commit.
gotta make a decision because riding the fence is where bad things happen. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love what Anthopolous is doing, but it is an unproven method to this point. I know they won a World Series, but they have really gone all in on this method since winning that World Series, by the way.
Yep.
So it is going to be
Doubling
interesting to see
down.
what happens. And we've also watched them make their decisions. It's not like the Braves are doing it with everyone. They let Freddie Freeman go. They let Dansby Swanson go, right? Like they are picking and choosing.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.